to Bruno Almeida. He's from Portugal, Lisbon. He's going to introduce us the development of a thesaurus. Bruno, if you like to start your presentation. Okay. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I will do a quick presentation.
Not so clear, Bruno, sorry.
Sorry?
The voice, your voice is not so clear.
Is it better now?
Probably yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. So I will do a quick presentation on the ongoing development of the ROSSIO Thesaurus. So I have a background in humanities, more specifically in linguistics. And my colleagues who co-authored the paper, Nuno, Freire and Monteiro, have backgrounds in computer science. So just a quick word about ROSSIO infrastructure. So it's the Portuguese representative of the RAIA, which, as you probably know, is the digital research infrastructure for arts and humanities in Europe. ROSSIO is made up of a consortium, of 7 institutions, public, academic, and private sector institutions that provide access to metadata descriptions of digital objects in social sciences, arts, and humanities. And this consortium is coordinated by the Nova School of Social Sciences and Humanities from Lisbon, Portugal. There is a platform that is still under development, which will aggregate the metadata descriptions of digital objects provided by the members of this consortium. And also the platform will provide services based on these data sets, which will be free and open access to the community. So some of the services that we will provide, which are still under development, will consist of simple and advanced search on the aggregated data sets. Also, we will have a virtual research environment in which researchers can select certain documents and make lists, bibliographic lists, and so on, and notes. We will have a service for digital exhibitions and collections, also curated by researchers of the Nova School of Social Sciences and Humanities. And also we will carry out training sessions and workshops, webinars, and so on. So with regard to data management and the platform, there is a DSpace instance which has already been deployed that will provide access to sharing and reuse of the datasets aggregated and produced in the platform. These datasets will be described. Sorry, there is something, an automatic function here which I'm not. Okay. I think now it will be better. Sorry for that. So the data sets at the dataset level, so they will be described in DCAT2, which is a W3C recommendation for interoperability between data catalogs and datasets on the web, which has enough detail for data exchange with content aggregators, such as the scientific open access repositories of Portugal, the open air repositories at European level, and also the European data portal. With regard to individual items, they will be described by reusing an application profile of a well-known standard, the Europeana data model, which has been developed for a similar initiative to ROSSIO, which is a directory of digital repositories in Portugal. So the ROSSIO vocabularies, at this time, we have several that are in development. They are basically a set of Scotch concept schemes with the purpose of supporting content discovery and data management in the platform. There are at this time vocabularies for topics, which is the ROSSIO Thesaurus, that I will talk a little bit more in the next slides. Also, there are vocabularies for agents, places, and periods. And for this, we use subclasses of authority in BibFrame, which is an ontology for bibliographic description. So, the methodology that we are generally using for developing these vocabularies is based on ISO 25964, which is the ISO standard for thesauri for information retrieval. We have deployed a tool for managing and developing the vocabularies, which is Workbench 3. A remarkable tool, by the way, developed at the University of Rome, Tor Vergata. And for publication and browsing, we are implementing Cosmos, which has been developed by the National Library of Finland. And so the steps, I will not go into detail here, but you can see the steps, which are basically taken from the ISO standards. At this time, we are in the construction phase. We have already assembled relevant vocabulary resources. We have already identified reference thesauri and so on that can be reused, especially those that are made available as linked open data. And at this time, we are looking at strategies for involvement of domain experts from the several research units at the Nova School of Social Sciences and Humanities, and also information specialists, librarians, and archivists from the several institutions that make up the consortium. So, with regard to the ROSSIO Thesaurus, we are, as I said, doing this development based on reusing third-party vocabulary resources, such as lists of indexing terms provided by our partners, and also reference thesauri that are made available right now as linked open data. In our vocabularies, as a minimum requirement, we want each concept to be lexicalized by Portuguese and English terms. The ROSSIO Thesaurus, as I said before, is or consists of topics, so it includes mostly general concepts in terminology. These are classes or groups of things that are usually denoted by common nouns, such as poets, pottery artifacts, or noun phrases. But it also includes some individuals, such as names of disciplines, sociology, for example, and art movements, surrealism. The ROSSIO Thesaurus is linked to the other vocabularies, for example, by supplying URIs for modeling types of agents or types of places, which is similar to what the Getty Art and Architecture Thesaurus does with their place gazetteer, which is Ulan, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, Ulan is for agents. It's the thesaurus for place names or geographical names. And so the ROSSIO Thesaurus is also being aligned with external vocabularies that are relevant in the arts and humanities, mostly the Getty AT, but also the Raya Backbone Thesaurus, which is a meta-thesaurus with very general concepts that can be reused or further specialized for domain-specific thesauri, which is our case. And this is done by using the SCORS mapping properties, such as exact match or close match. And this alignment, as I specify in the paper, is carried out through an alignment tool for ontologies and vocabularies, which is Silk Workbench. So here are some of the preliminary results. Of course, these numbers are already out of date, But so far we have defined top-level concepts or hierarchies of concepts, which are agents, places, temporal entities, physical objects, and conceptual objects. And this was done, this was carried out by doing a review of ontologies and reference thesauri, such as the aforementioned BBT, but also the CRM ontology and Dolce.
It would be important to wrap up if you can.
Yes, yes. So here you can see some relevant metrics that were extracted from VocBench in December. At this time, we are closing on 4,000 concepts, and we have close to 600. Well, at this time, it will be more like 1,000 links to the Getty AET. And with regard to the role in data management, we find that ROSSIO will help, or in fact, our vocabularies will help ROSSIO to comply with FAIR principles by facilitating rich metadata for descriptions, which is a FAIR principle, and also by adopting vocabularies that are documented and resolvable using URIs, which is another FAIR principle. And so the data sets will be linked to the vocabularies by means of these properties that you can see here, the cat theme, DC term spatial and temporal, probably also the type property, which of course will describe data sets with concepts from the vocabularies. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm open to questions or suggestions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Bruno. If there is a very, very short question by anybody, I don't see any hands. So I think it's a very interesting work going on. Probably in IRSDL next year, you can introduce us next results, because I imagine then you are going to publish it by September this year, if I'm correct. Is correct?
Yes, yes, that is correct.
So your plan is by September. So we are looking forward to have information from that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.